Who ruined your family Christmas this year, and what did they do? I found out my wife was cheating on me at 11:30 p.m. Christmas Eve while we were at her parents' house. I packed up my stuff, walked right by her family who didn't know what was going on, and drove 6 hours in a crazy rainstorm to my parents' house. So there's that. My mother got belligerently drunk, locked herself in the closet, and claimed she was going to end her life. Then she vomited and my dad and I were trying to drag her into her bed. She then proceeded to get violent with me and kicked me in the face. Reading this makes me feel a bit better. I'm in a similar situation, but it's my dad. My stupid freaking uncle. The story behind why I hate him is long and involved, but every year I hate him and my awful cousins just a little bit more. This year though, frick him. My 83-year-old grandma had been caring for my 88-year-old grandpa with dementia, incontinence, and legs so bad he could barely stand, let alone get around. My grandfather was horrible to her because he was so confused he couldn't figure things out and lashed out at her. My mom went up and helped as much as she could, and I did too. My uncle never lifted a motherfucking finger, but made her feel guilty about putting him in respite care because of COVID. She was all alone. No outside help could come in because of COVID. And yet he bitched at her for even thinking about putting him in respite just so she could get a break from the 24-hour care. She eventually snapped and had a mental breakdown from the stress and ended up putting my grandpa in respite, where unfortunately he suffered a stroke and died a couple of months later. Did my uncle help plan arrangements? Number. Did he go to my grandma's at all the day he died? Number. Then he insulted my mom because she didn't personally give him the funeral plans even though my aunt was there the whole time and could have told him at any time. Then he actually whines about not having a traditional Thanksgiving dinner and made my grandma feel so guilty that she prepared dinner for his family by herself. 1 month after my grandfather's death, and did his usual thing of arriving 2 hours late, leaving her sitting there trying to keep food warm, like she has to do every year. This year I said frick that. I'll have Christmas here and you do whatever the frick you want, but it will not involve guilting my grandma again to make a whole Christmas dinner for your selfish, whiny butt. Plans changed and me and my brother, plus our spouses and children, are going to my grandma's on Sunday. But could he leave well enough alone? No. Now he's intruding on my nice relaxed Christmas with my grandma and I have to be forced to be in the same room as his racist, homophobic, selfish, whiny, immature butt. Saving grace is my terrible cousins will not be there. If he follows the same pattern that every year before, though, he will be 2-3 hours late and we will already be gone, so it won't matter. My girlfriend's sister. She has 3 young girls and a terrible choice of men. She chooses today via a video of the kids to reveal to everybody that she is now dating a well-known junkie within our town. She has a very addictive personality and has struggled to stay clean herself. My girlfriend is now ridiculously stressed out and worried for the kids. My wife decided to stay on the phone with one of her exes from her distant past rather than sit down with me and my sons to eat the Christmas Eve dinner I spent 3 hours making while it was still hot. I had that experience with my ex-husband. Fun times. Awesome that you cooked. Don't ever forget you're fine just as you are. My mom decided that is better for her and me that she is going to spend these holidays with her much younger boyfriend. 15-17 year difference in another city, while her second husband, my stepdad, is in a different country trying to work for us so he can help us with money and crap. So here I am, barely 18, spending my first Christmas and New Year's Eve alone. My cousin exposed our entire extended family of generational abuse and trauma, and like a good old traumatized family, all the adults carried on like normal and the kids are seeking therapy. Time to have your own separate Christmas without the adults. I was planning to go spend Christmas with my mom and dad this year after my 9-year engagement broke off just before Christmas. I just moved out, so I'm alone for the first time in 9 years. Then my dog got a stomach bug. He woke me up 3 times at night to go outside for a poo. He usually sleeps through the night no problem, and I discovered a pile of puke on his dog bed. It's not his fault, but I don't know if I can go anywhere today. I'm sorry. I hope you managed to enjoy your day somehow. My 10-year relationship broke down 3 weeks ago and COVID ruined the minimal Christmas plans I had. So I feel your pain. Hope the dog feels better soon. Not a family member. My grandma is into spiritist stuff. Whatever. She's happy and it's not like the money she gives put her well-being in jeopardy. We found out that the people to whom she's been giving money for years is scamming her for a very large amount of money. My dad and uncle stopped taking her to that place, and they called her from the place and convinced her that her family wants to do her harm. She was very sour and barely spoke to anyone. That added to the fact that Christmas was a very small meeting this year and some of us were there for less than an hour. We're not sure if that can be legally denounced as scamming and it's very difficult to talk to my grandma about that subject. People were bitter and worried. It was a very tense meeting. Cancer. My mom passed in early July. First year without her. My brother and I visited grandma, like every year, but this time without our mom. But the feeling just isn't the same anymore. So sorry for your loss. My cousin, who bought Chick-fil-A so he wouldn't have to eat our homemade meals, announced upon arriving he wasn't helping with anything. Tried to trip acid all day on Christmas Eve. Got drunk before noon by himself on that same day when I told him no Christmas hallucinogens, and drunkenly screamed in my face when I told him to clean up his dishes and beer cans. No Christmas hallucinogens. There's a phrase I've never seen before. My body, I guess. I have a condition that is rapidly worsening, and on Christmas Eve my doctor told me it's gotten so bad I may need to be in urgent care at the hospital on Tuesday. It's all I've been thinking about. I can't even sleep. My wife. A couple weeks ago she broke the news to me that she had an affair at the beginning of this year, and wants a divorce. Hey, as someone who went through infidelity and divorce, if you need someone to talk to or just to vent, DM me. I'm happy to try to be supporting in this really tough time. My mom died last week. My dad died 6 years ago. This is my first holiday without a parent. There's our mom for a minute if you need it. Obviously that's no substitute for your real parents, but it's a place to talk to your mum for a bit if you're lonely or need to share. Truly sorry for your loss. It's Christmas morning and I can hear my nephew, who lives in the apartment downstairs, throwing a temper tantrum because he thinks his sister got larger gifts from Santa this year. His dad, are you joking right now? You better be joking. Say just kidding. Oh my god. Tell me he's kidding. It's 8 AM. No one ruined Christmas but my granddad has been in the hospital for almost 2 weeks and unfortunately, he can't be home for Christmas. We've never had a Christmas without him for all 20 years of my life. Due to COVID, we can't visit either. Gave him a call this morning and it put a lump in my throat. He mentioned he got a gift from the ward which got him emotional and nearly got me in tears. He calmed down and started to tell me about the turkey dinner he's having today which he's excited about. Good news though, he should be home before New Year. 21 here. Grandpa passed in January. It feels weird. Not this year, but last year my older sister was being a bee and talking down to me. Seriously, when was the last time I even talked to you? My reply. I'm not sure. Maybe it was at your wedding a few months ago. She got married in May, divorced by July, now sitting next to her new boyfriend that she's introducing to us for the first time. They left. My parents were pee. I had a great time. Okay, story time please. I stole my family's stockings and replaced them with coal. My mom couldn't stop laughing. My dad was annoyed and my brother indifferent. I like your mum. Frickin' Travis. My friend is remodeling his kitchen and living room. Well, Travis, who does vac and electrical work, decided that it would be no big deal to go to work knowing that his wife was sick with COVID. He exposed my dad who's a painter and my friend's dad who's a carpenter. Now we all have to be without our dad. Frickin' Travis, you suck. Frick Travis. And Aaron from an earlier comment. Why people gotta be buttholes at the holidays. Christmas got cancelled due to the parents having an argument in the morning. Told everyone not to come. Spent Christmas with my cat, eating Uber Eats. Myself. For always acting like it is okay to do all the work, all the planning, all the present buying, etc. So now no one tries to make it special for me and I am just tired of doing all the work, so I don't. I have been in a similar spot and it's rough. I'm so sorry. Everyone except me this time. Everyone is yelling at one another while I'm here writing this comment, hoping everyone will stay calm more than 3 minutes. I got fired a week ago for doing my job and giving everything to my company. Frick you, Aaron. Sorry dude. Frick Aaron. All my homies hate Aaron. For once no one has ruined my Christmas, but my sister is still supposed to come round and we've not been on the same page ever. I'm in the same boat, except my sister also has a mini spawn who's also never on the same page with my son. Going to enjoy these last moments until they get here, then it's time to drink. Well, I got left with building every single toy set for my nephew, and these aren't simple plug-in things. Booklets with 7 bags of screws and wooden dowels that I have to twist and fit perfectly. It's 6 AM and I still have one left, but that will have to wait. Save that last one to do with him. That could mean more to him than the gift itself. Myself. Ate takeaway curry last night and got food poisoning, so I've spent the entire day at home hugging the toilet bowl. On the plus side, my abdominals are gonna look fierce tomorrow, so there's that. Gym owners hate this one simple trick. My mom's denial of her bipolar disorder. She is in full manic mode. I traveled 8 hours from another country to be with my parents on Christmas. I was supposed to stay for almost 2 weeks, but the atmosphere was so toxic I had to get out after 3 days. I told them I'm leaving. I couldn't handle her screaming and aggressivity and overall nastiness. I want to help her so badly, but she flat out screamed to my face that she isn't ill. This is who she is. I have my own mental health issues and I couldn't take it anymore because she was pouring verbal poison into me every minute I was with her. I sat on a bus back home and arrived at 3 AM to my apartment to spend Christmas alone. I'm a mom with bipolar disorder and stuff like this is why I take my mental health so seriously. I watched and treated mental illness destroy my aunt's relationship with her kids. I don't want my son's childhood ruined by memories of a crazy mother. They didn't ask for that. They deserve better and so do you. Me. Woke up at 10 AM hungover and I've only just stopped throwing up. Bob's mom decided having COVID-like symptoms weren't cause enough for testing. Gave it to Bob, who in turn may have given it to me. Neither my GF nor I, who live together, can go see our families. BC, we are waiting on lab results. Lung cancer ruined my Christmas by popping up the week before Christmas. I've been an endurance athlete my whole life. No smoking and barely drink. All my COVID tests were negative. So we did a CT scan that led to biopsies. Got the results 3 days ago. I'm only 29 years old, just finished grad school and landed my dream job 3 weeks ago. Dude, my sympathies. Wishing you a swift battle and long life. My dad killed himself in August. I cried at 6 AM because it's my first Christmas without him. Last week, FedEx delivered some of the gifts I'd ordered, but instead of placing them on my porch, they left them behind my vehicle in the driveway. I subsequently backed over them when I went to get groceries. I have Crohn's and I got an abscess right near my sphincter dart that had to be surgically drained under general anesthesia, but unbeknownst to them it was so deep and it went high up in my right cheek, superlevator or some shite. They all looked like somebody threw crap and blood everywhere when I left. It happens, BC, it shoots out from the pressure, and if they aren't prepared, well then they forgot to give me pain meds when I went home and I was still numb from surgery, so I couldn't feel anything. Q 6 hours later, 10:30 my time, and I head back to the air. Finally got a pain med in me. 2:30 a fucking. And now I have to wait until the flight fight reaction goes back down, which means take pills for a BT and then I will eventually calm down. I hate pills too, BC, they constipate me, but I can't take ibuprofen, BC, it fucks my Crohn's up bad. OWH, what freaking fun. And this ain't the first Christmas, New Year's in the air. Fa la la, frick me. No one. I have no one to celebrate it with, so that sucks. Have an e-hug. Merry Christmas. My ex divorced me this year, finalized on what would have been my 11th year anniversary. She took the kids and moved 900 miles away. I'm so sad all the time now. Even having my kids with me for Christmas, I feel empty. All I want is my family back. My wife. She called the simple ring my daughter received from her boyfriend a trash ring because she wasn't wearing the nearly $700 class ring we had just given her. I have never been so disgusted with my wife. I did. I told my family our convicted pedophile uncle would never know my kids, and if he is there at Christmas, I wouldn't be. Neither would my kids. This year will be a very quiet Christmas at my house because they all think I am a bigot. It's actually encouraged to be bigoted against pedophiles, and I am hardcore side-eyeing your family for defending him. Definitely not the worst one, having read some of the other contributions here. My long-term girlfriend, who I was going to spend Christmas with, cheated on me. Then when I tried to forgive and gave her a chance to make it work, she decided she simply wanted to end things there. And now I'm sitting here staring at a huge pile of gifts I'd got her, wondering what the point is anymore. The point is moving on to find someone who will love you as much as you deserve. I'm sorry about your girlfriend and Christmas, but hope you'll see it was for the best someday. My husband's alcoholic co-worker. Dude has been packing into bars every day this whole pandemic and he got COVID. He took it with him to work and my husband got sick. Brought it home to me. So now rather than enjoying hosting family Christmas in our new house, we are both still so exhausted that our living room is overtaken with bedroom furniture that we don't have the energy to take upstairs. And we ate frozen pizza on Christmas Eve because the idea of grocery shopping, let alone cooking anything, makes me want to cry. My husband died of cancer at Thanksgiving, so let's just move to January already. The definition of a fricked up everything. So it was a group effort of my parents. Last summer during quarantine, my mom decided to finally divorce my dad. My dad had been an alcoholic for a while, and 8 or 9 years ago my mom had decided not to divorce because my oldest sister, 14 at the time, would have had to be the sober adult on the days that us 3 kids were with our dad. Now that I, the youngest, am almost out of high school, she felt it was safe for us kids to handle the divorce. It's complicated and I've already rambled enough already, so I'll just say that my mom has had enough trying to make things work and my dad is in denial, thinking we can still work something out without going to a full divorce. He also blames himself for everything when it really just didn't work out. A week or 2 ago, my dad gave me a very emotionally distressed text that was basically an ultimatum, telling me to choose between my 2 parents. This gave me an opportunity to stop going to his house every week and stay with my mom indefinitely. Now it's Christmas though, and we're spending Christmas morning at his house so that he's not alone like he was on Thanksgiving. My dad means well, but he goes crying over every little thing and being around him makes everyone in the family depressed. Let's see how this morning goes. I'm on my way now. My grandmother. She died. I wish this was a joke, but she really did die peacefully the morning of 12/24. We think she waited specifically for that day because she knew we'd be together and our Christmas traditions would help us get through the tough day. Got a call from my dad last night while at my aunt's house with my mom and brother. I could barely understand him as he was most likely drunk out of his mind. It was embarrassing. As someone who has had the last several Christmases ruined by an alcoholic father, you have my sympathy. Last year my brother and I spent Christmas together without the rest of the family, and although we both missed seeing our mum, it was a huge relief to not be waiting for the inevitable drama, violence, tears that our usual family Christmas entails. I wouldn't say it ruined Christmas, but my cousin died by suicide almost a month ago and my aunt called my mom crying this morning because they have to do Christmas without her. Sort of put a damper on everyone's mood. To be clear, I'm not blaming my aunt. It's just really sad. My mom was crying. My dad was crying. It's just hard. When we have moments of joy, it makes me feel guilty because she's gone. And then I also feel really upset because I wish there was something I could have done. Just a sad time. I'll tell last year's story. My dad and his wife live in the Midwest. My wife and I live in California. In September, my dad had asked my wife and I to consider moving to the same Midwest city as him and his wife. My dad said he'd help us with moving expenses, buying a house, or whatever else we needed. My dad and his wife are millionaires. My wife and I are not nearly as well off, but are just starting our careers. My wife and I talked about it, and we liked the city, and the prospect of getting some help buying a house, which we all know is a dying millennial dream. was enough for us to say yes. My dad and his wife had just purchased a new home and told us that as soon as they sold their old home, they'd co-sign and or help with a down payment on a house in their city. They hooked us up with their realtor right away and informed their realtor of the game plan. We're looking at homes online the entire time and making a list of houses to view when we return to the Midwest for Christmas. Fast forward 3 months. Christmas morning, after opening presents, in front of the entire family, my dad tells me that he's decided he wants to put in a pool and doesn't want to help us buy our house. He then avoids me for the next 3 days, and the night before my wife and I are supposed to fly back out, I've had enough. I tell my wife to pack her bags and we'll stay in a hotel the last night. My dad overhears us talking about it, interjects, after literally not seeing him for 3 days, despite being in the same house, and I calmly confront him about the entire situation. His wife flies off the handle and literally bum rushes me from across the room, completely unprovoked. My dad has to restrain her, but she tells me to leave and never come back. My dad backs her up and says, "Yeah, if you don't leave, I'm going to call the police." I scoffed, pointed out that we were already leaving, and called an Uber. Haven't talked to him since. We blocked him and his wife. A year later, my wife and I are 6 months pregnant. I just got my dream job making great money. My dad has no idea about either. Additionally, my brother and his girlfriend refuse to visit my dad for Christmas and have more or less cut contact with my dad and his wife. TLDR. Dad is a pose and now his kids want nothing to do with him. People like this get off on building up your hopes and then dashing them. They like the power. Good for you. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.